We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi begins 4-day tour of Jordan, Ethiopia and Oman today. Jordan visits marks 75 years of diplomatic ties, aims to boost bilateral relations and regional cooperation. Australia mourns the victims of Bondi Hanukkah festival shooting. Police say father and son behind the shooting that killed 15. Ukraine's Zelensky signals willingness to drop NATO bid in talks to end Ukraine conflict. Trump envoy Steve Witkoff says major progress made after the talks. And on to the details now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will begin a 4-day tour to Jordan, Ethiopia and Oman on Monday. The first leg takes him to Jordan from December 15th to 16th at the invitation of King Abdullah II. Marking 75 years of ties, the visit will review bilateral relations and regional issues, giving fresh momentum to India-Jordan partnership. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya has more on this.
In West Asia's complex geopolitical landscape, Jordan has emerged as a stable and trusted partner for India, anchored in shared commitments to peace and regional stability. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will undertake a 2-day bilateral visit to Jordan starting Monday at the invitation of King Abdullah bin Al Hussein. This marks the Prime Minister's full-fledged bilateral visit to the kingdom and coincides with 75 years of diplomatic relations between India and Jordan.
It's a truly historic and a landmark visit. This is the year when we are celebrating 75 years of establishment of diplomatic relationship between India and Jordan. And perhaps this is the most memorable occasion, and we couldn't have asked for more. We are all looking forward to his presence in our midst, the Indian community here, and His Majesty and the entire government and the leadership have been extremely positive and responsive to this memorable occasion, and we are all geared to ensure a very smooth, successful and productive visit.
During the visit, Prime Minister Modi will hold talks with King Abdullah II to review the full spectrum of bilateral ties and exchange views on key regional and global developments.
Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi will embark on a bilateral visit to the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan from December 15 to 16, 2025. This will be Prime Minister's first full-fledged bilateral visit to Jordan, which is coinciding with the 75th year of establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Jordan. Bilateral visit is taking place after an interval of 37 years. India and Jordan share warm and friendly relations marked by mutual trust and goodwill. The relationship spans across sectors including political, economic, defense and strong people-to-people ties.
India-Jordan economic relations have grown steadily over the years. India is now Jordan's third largest trading partner, with bilateral trade valued at nearly $2.8 billion. Jordan plays a vital role in India's food security, supplying critical fertilizers such as phosphates and potash for India's agricultural sector. Both countries are exploring new areas of collaboration, including green energy, water technology and food security. Tourism cooperation, along with education and digital innovation, is emerging as the next frontier as India and Jordan work towards a future driven by knowledge and innovation.
With shared values, growing economic ties and new areas of cooperation, India and Jordan are poised to take their partnership to the next level, turning 75 years of friendship into a future of deeper regional cooperation and mutual growth. With Campus and Ashish, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Jordan.
And DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya is in Jordan and joins us from there for more. Well, Tapas, what are the key takeaways expected from Prime Minister Modi's visit to Jordan, and how significant is this tour for strengthening India's engagement in West Asia?
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Jordan is being viewed here as a watershed moment in bilateral ties. This is the first time, in fact, this is the first full-fledged bilateral visit by an Indian Prime Minister, and it comes at a time when India is deepening its engagement across West Asia. The focus is not limited to diplomatic symbolism. Substantive outcomes are expected in areas such as trade, investment, renewable energy cooperation, and coordination on regional security. Jordan is a stable and trusted partner in this particularly volatile region, and this visit reinforces India's commitment to working closely with Oman on shared regional concerns, including peace and stability in the Middle East. It also underscores Jordan's importance in India's West Asia outreach.
All right. Also, how Prime Minister Modi's visit is being received in Jordan as well, and what does it signal for future cooperation?
Right. On the grounds in Jordan, Prime Minister Modi's visit has generated strong interest and positive statement. There is a visible goodwill for India, driven by cultural familiarity and the popularity of Indian films and the presence of the Indian community. Jordanian officials see this visit as an opportunity to elevate cooperation beyond the traditional diplomacy, particularly in tourism, cultural exchanges, education, people-to-people contact. And Prime Minister's engagement at heritage sites are being closely watched by each and everyone as they highlight the soft power dimension of the relationship and signals a long-term multifaceted partnership between India and Jordan.
All right. All right, Tapas, thank you so much for all those details. And moving on, Indian Ambassador to Jordan, Manish Chauhan, further said that digital cooperation poised to be a key pillar in India-Jordan engagement. Here is DD India exclusive. Take a listen.
Nowadays, India has been known as an IT hub. It's a country where the whole world now looks up to providing solution. Jordan, at this particular area in the Middle East, is turning out to be, IT hub itself. They're trying to level best to project themselves. Do you believe that both countries can work in that department as well?
Absolutely. You mentioned the India Center.
India Center.
So there is, you're very right, India is a giant in this area. We are constant, and there is that openness to deepening this engagement at all levels. And again, I would say that, the forthcoming visit, the business forum, provide us with the foundation to push forward in this field, because there is keenness to engage and deepen this relationship, and we'll see how best to achieve a positive outcome.
In India, sir, it's very easy nowadays to do digital transaction. You have gone there, you flash your mobile, scan, and that's the power of digital revolution. That's something that probably places like Jordan can also take a leaf out. We saw UPI becoming common in some of the other countries, for instance, Paris and Singapore, other places. Do you believe that something like that, the digital transformation that we see, the digital public infrastructure that India is right now championing and has become a major behemoth in that, we believe that Jordan can take a leaf?
Absolutely. And India has also been open to engaging with countries and sharing it. This is something that, again, Honorable Prime Minister talks about, that India has an open system, and we would like to share that with the countries of the world. We are absolutely open to sharing it with the friends in Jordan. And like I said, you're talking about so many areas where there is so many possibilities. And through Jordan, I have met companies from India that have come here and use Jordan also to explore the rest of the region.
Actually, this is a very interesting place where you can actually have a Middle East connection through Jordan throughout the place.
Absolutely. And you've already experienced the warmth and the hospitality here. And so, again, there are so many threats that are common. And the possibilities are there, because not just there is a positive environment to strengthen the relationship, also amongst the private sector, the companies in all these fields. So there is a positive environment, and we are trying to make sure that that environment only gets stronger and bigger.
Well, tourism is fast emerging as a powerful bridge between India and Jordan. From Petra and the Dead Sea to Varanasi and Kerala, growing people-to-people travel, film tourism and easy connectivity are bringing the two cultures closer than ever before.
Tourism is one of the most dynamic and underexplored dimension of the Indo-Jordan relations, a natural cultural bridge that has potential to bring both nations closer. For Indians, Jordan represents history carved in stone, quite literally. Petra, one of the 7 wonders of the world, draws thousands of Indian tourists every year. The vast desert landscape of the Wadi Rum, the healing waters of the Dead Sea and the cultural tapestry of Oman offers experiences that resonates deeply with Indians traveling seeking history, adventure and wellness. Jordan in turn is discovering India's diverse tourism offerings. From spiritual serenity of Varanasi and Bodh Gaya to the royal splendor of Jaipur and Udaipur, Indian destinations offer cultural depth, heritage, vibrancy, wellness and retreats in Kerala, yoga tourism, Ayurveda centers and climate destinations like Ladakh and Mumbai appeal increasingly to the Jordanian tourism. Film tourism is emerging as a new bridge. Indian filmmakers are exploring Jordan's dramatic landscape as location for movies, while Jordan's tourism authorities are engaging with Indian production houses for collaborations. Direct flights, joint tourism campaigns, simplified visa process and promotional tours are opening doors for greater movement between both the countries. Travel companies in both the countries are beginning to curate specialized Indo-Jordan itineraries. Tourism is not just economic, it creates memories, emotional connection and stories that live across borders. As the ties deepens, tourism will continue to be one of the most powerful channels through which people of India and Jordan will discover each other. With camera person Ashish, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India from Jordan.
All right, and for more on this, we have Akshay Dongre joining us. Well, Akshay, our Prime Minister is about to emplain for Jordan in a short while from now. Tell us what all is lined up for today as Prime Minister embarks on this most important tour, the three-nation tour.
Well, as far as the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi is concerned, this is going to be the first full bilateral visit of PM Modi to Jordan. Because the last visit that took place in 2018 was a transit visit. However, in that transit visit as well, the kind of sort of ceremonies that were accorded to Prime Minister Narendra Modi were heartwarming for the 1.4 billion people who were watching the way King of Jordan, His Majesty King Abdullah II, welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi, accorded him the sort of warm ceremonies and welcome there for that short span of time. We also saw King Abdullah visiting India and the two leaders of the two countries meeting and for bilateral meetings on several occasions. However, a full bilateral visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been pending for a long time, and finally it's happening, a move that can bring the two countries closer together, and also working towards the large Indian diaspora of over 17,000 people, 17,000 Indians that are residing in Jordan and are working there in various sectors as well. As far as Prime Minister's itinerary is concerned, Prime Minister is on a three-nation tour, and his first leg of the tour is Jordan, where he will be meeting the King of Jordan, where expectations are there that the King of Jordan will himself be receiving Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the airport, as far as the welcoming ceremony is concerned. But besides that, we can expect a range of bilateral meetings between the two leaders. Meetings between the delegation that are traveling with the Prime Minister, meeting on a business delegation level as well, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi can interact with the businesses of Jordan, the Indian business leaders who will be there in Jordan to meet their counterparts there. And besides that, obviously there will be ceremonies and official banquets that will be hosted in honor of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is visiting there for the first full bilateral visit. So it's a great move as far as the visit is concerned. In bringing the two nations closer together. The relation between India and Jordan are quite old. In fact, we are celebrating 75 years of establishment of diplomatic ties between the two countries. So this visit solidifies that strong bond there is between the two countries, and this is also going to be the visit between and rather a bilateral meeting between the two leadership after the devastating war that has wreaked havoc in the West Asian region. So we can expect a lot happening there as far as the visit is concerned. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 2-day visit to Jordan. He'll be reaching today,
Right.
and he'll be leaving the country tomorrow for his second leg. So the itinerary is packed, and a lot to look forward to.
All right, the itinerary is packed. In fact, Akshay, in the context of West Asia's shifting power dynamics right now, how does India's engagement with Jordan reflect New Delhi's broader regional strategy?
Well, something that we have noticed in the last 3 to 4 decades especially is Jordan playing a very stabilizing role there in the Middle East. It has not been acting as a reactionary power in the region. We have seen that Jordan also shares close ties with the US. It shares close ties with the Western economies. It also has close ties, perhaps even closer than the others with the people of India as far as the leadership level is concerned. India has been an advocate of dialogue and diplomacy as far as the conflict is concerned. Similar ideology is being shared by Jordan as far as the conflict is there, because it is right next to Israel, where the conflict has been going on for several months now. So we can expect talks between the two leaders, discussions on the topic of the conflict that has been brewing and devastating lives there, and India acting as a key player as well, as a neighbor and a key player of the global south, to ensure that stabilization happens in that part of the world as well, so that the war can come to an end and all parties resort to dialogue and diplomacy to end the conflict.
All right, Akshay, thank you so much for all those details. In fact, India has categorically rejected the assertions made by the interim government of Bangladesh. In a press release, the Ministry of External Affairs said that we have consistently reiterated our position in favor of free, fair, inclusive and credible elections being held in Bangladesh in a peaceful atmosphere. India has never allowed its territory to be used for activities inimical to the interest of the friendly people of Bangladesh. We expect that the interim government of Bangladesh will take all necessary measures for ensuring internal law and order, including for the purpose of holding peaceful elections. And still to come on DD India News Now. Winter session nears close as Parliament takes up election reforms appropriation bill. India emerges as world's third strongest AI power, boosting Viksit Bharat vision. And Kashi Tamil Sangamam 2025 concludes with final delegation celebrating cultural unity.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching TT India News. I'm Lipakshi Kuran, and moving on, the winter session of India's Parliament enters its last leg today, with the government pushing through substantial legislations. In Rajya Sabha or the upper house, further discussion on election reform will take place besides question hour and 0 hour. While in the lower house or the Lok Sabha, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will introduce the appropriation bill for the services of the financial year 2025-26 for consideration and passing. And for more on this, we have Dibyendu Mondal joining us. Well, Dibyendu, as the winter session enters its final phase the last week, how crucial is today's discussion on election reforms in Rajya Sabha, and what political consensus or lack of it we are seeing across the party lines?
Well, Lipakshi, since the last week, we are witnessing these marathon debates and discussions in both the houses of parliament. We had witnessed the electoral reforms debate in the lower house last week with Union Home Minister Amit Shah making the concluding remarks. Similarly, the debate will be taking place in the Rajya Sabha, which began on Thursday afternoon. The debate will continue till late today evening, after which it is expected that senior leader from the BJP, JP Nadda, could make the final comments on the electoral reforms in the Rajya Sabha, because he's also the floor leader of the Rajya Sabha. So therefore, it is expected that by today evening, the debate and discussion on the electoral reforms might conclude. And we have heard from all the political parties cutting across all political ideologies, given a chance to speak on the floor of the House. They have expressed their different opinions during the debate on, and also suggested changes that the electoral system in India could perhaps take place. So therefore, this has been a long-drawn marathon debate in both the houses of parliament, and it is expected to conclude by this evening. Vipakshi.
All right. Also, Dibyendu, with the Finance Minister set to introduce the appropriation bill for 25-26 in the Lok Sabha, how does its passage today impact the everyday governance, things like the common salaries, welfare schemes, etc., in the coming year?
Well, Lipakshi, it's a very routine process in parliamentary democracy, where, for any government to use funds from the consolidated funds of India, they need permission from the lower house, because lower house is the house of the people. It is elected by the people. So therefore, it's a money bill. It is going to sail through very easily, and because this doesn't need the ratification of the Rajya Sabha. It's a bill which seeks permission from the members of the Lok Sabha to take out extra funds from the consolidated funds of India to meet the daily expenses of the government as and when it is required. So it's an absolutely routine process in parliamentary democracy, where the Union Finance Minister does lay down these procedures in the lower house to seek permission to use funds from the consolidated fund of India. Yes, Vipakshi.
All right, Dibyendu, thank you so much for all those details. And moving on, the Indian Navy will commission its second MH-60R helicopter squadron, INAS 335 Ospreys, at INS Hansa, Goa on 17th of December in the presence of Admiral Dinesh Kumar Tripathi, Chief of the Naval Staff. Now, this milestone marks a significant step in the Indian Navy's ongoing drive for modernization and capability enhancement. The MH-60R helicopter stands as a versatile and powerful asset, with fully integrated into fleet operations. The aircraft has consistently demonstrated its effectiveness. With the commissioning of INAS 335, the Indian Navy's integral aviation capabilities will receive a substantial boost. Well, India is ranked as the world's third most competitive AI power, according to Stanford University's Global AI Vibrancy Tool. We give you all the details in our next report on how this feat is a big boost to India's AI mission and the vision of Viksit Bharat, or Developed India, by the year 2047.
Stanford University's Global AI Vibrancy Tool ranked India as the world's third most competitive country in artificial intelligence. India's rapidly growing tech ecosystem and large talent pools landed firmly in the third place of the list. The latest ranking highlights how India's fast-growing tech ecosystem and strong talent base are helping the country play a key role in the global AI race. This puts India ahead of several advanced economies, including the United Kingdom, Japan, Canada, Germany, and France. This ranking reflects not just R&D output, but economic strength, policy engagement, and public awareness of AI. The development comes a few days after top global companies announced their plans to invest multi-billion dollars in the country's AI infrastructure in the next few years. Amazon announced an investment commitment of $35 billion by 2030 in key AI, logistics, and cloud computing infrastructure. Microsoft has pledged an investment of $17.5 billion, its biggest investment in Asia, for cloud and AI expansion. The findings reinforce the idea that India is no longer a peripheral player in AI, but a central contender, shaping the next phase of global technological competition. For the first time in India's history, the government is actively shaping an AI ecosystem where computing power, GPUs, and research opportunities are accessible at an affordable cost. Unlike in the past, AI in India is no longer confined to a privileged few or dominated by global tech giants. Through forward-looking policies, the Modi government is empowering students, startups, and innovators with world-class AI infrastructure, fostering a truly level playing field. Initiatives such as the India AI Mission and the establishment of Centers of Excellence for AI are strengthening the country's AI ecosystem, paving the way for innovation and self-reliance in this critical sector. These efforts align with the vision of Viksit Bharat by 2047, where India aspires to become a global AI powerhouse, leveraging cutting-edge technology for economic growth, governance, and societal progress. Bureau Report, DD India.
And with the arrival of the final delegation in the fourth edition of Kashi Tamil Sangamam, the program is now moving towards its conclusion. To encourage the seventh and the final delegation, Union Minister of State for Education, Sukanta Majumdar, attended the cultural program at Namoghat. In the fourth phase of Kashi Tamil Sangamam, these melodic waves at Namoghat, the classical music traditions of the Gharanas of Kashi, the vibrant energy emanating from the musical instruments of Tamil Nadu, this confluence of all is further enriching the spirit of Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat. On the fourth phase of Kashi Tamil Sangamam, a total of 7 delegations arrived in the sacred land of Kashi. Along with Kashi, they also visited Prayagraj and Ayodhya. Along with the exchange of language, cuisine, literature, crafts and various art forms, the most important bond formed was the unification of emotions. And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. Union Communication Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia unveiled a majestic 25-foot statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj in Atani, Karnataka, calling the occasion historic. The minister emphasized that the event was not merely the unveiling of a statue, but a solemn resolve to carry forward the spirit of India's self-respect, courage, and the consciousness of Hindavi Swaraj to future generations. Young school children in Agartala came together to participate in the 54th Vijay Divas celebrations, marking India's historic victory in the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War. The Indian Army organized a large-scale painting competition at the Albert Eka War Memorial, aiming to inspire patriotism and awareness of the nation's military heritage among the younger generation. And still to come, DD India News Now. Syria arrests 5 suspects after attack on joint US-Syrian convoy in Palmyra. Suspect detained in Rhode Island hotel after deadly Brown University shooting. And right-wing candidate Joe Santorio cast wins Chilean presidency amid crime, migration concerns.
US launch a bombing campaign against Iran. The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you. You read between the lines, cut the clutter, and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and time now for a quick recap of the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi begins 4-day tour of Jordan, Ethiopia and Oman today. Jordan visit marks 75 years of diplomatic ties, aims to boost bilateral relations and regional cooperation. Australia mourns victims of Bondi Hanukkah festival shooting. Police say father and son behind the shooting that killed 15. Ukraine, Zelensky signals willingness to drop NATO bid in talks to end Ukraine conflict. Trump envoy Steve Witkoff says major progress made after talks. India achieves historic milestone in squash, defeats Hong Kong in Chennai to win the first World Cup. Well, Australia is in mourning after a father-son duo killed at least 15 in an attack at a Jewish celebration in Sydney's Bondi Beach. Now, investigations continue in Bondi Beach attack as police raided the home of the alleged gunmen. The father, a 50-year-old, was killed at the scene while his 24-year-old son was in a critical condition in the hospital. Australian media has named them as Sajid Akram and his son Naveed Akram. Now, officials have described Sunday's shooting as a targeted anti-Semitic attack. 40 people remain in hospital following the attack, including 2 police officers who are in a serious but stable condition. The victims were aged between 10 and 87.
We notice them, they come and go every day here, and they never say hello or anything. They just normal. We thought they are normal people. Yeah, we were so shocked to notice that one of the guy who shoot people, they live in here. Shocking and terrifying. I was worried about my family and my kids. Yeah, one of my kids, he was working last night. He came home around 12 and he couldn't come back. So he has to go back and stay with a friend.
Well, witnesses said the attack at the famed beach, which was packed on a hot evening, lasted about 10 minutes, sending hundreds of people scattering along the sand and into nearby streets. Police said around 1,000 people had attended the targeted Hanukkah event, which was held in a small park off the beach. Well, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese visited Bondi Beach and laid flowers near the scene of the attack, while some mourners were seen placing candles, flowers and Israeli and Australian flags. Albanese earlier called the attack a dark moment for our nation and said police and security agencies were thoroughly checking the motive behind the attack. US President Trump also offered his condolences.
And likewise in Australia, as you know, there was a terrible attack, 11 dead, 29 badly wounded. And that was an anti-Semitic attack, obviously. And I just want to pay my respects to everybody.
Mass shootings are rare in Australia, one of the world's safest countries, but Sunday's attack was the worst since 1996, when a gunman killed 35 people at the Port Arthur tourist site in the Southern Island state of Tasmania.
Saying our concerns have been concerns and are still concerns. Am I surprised? Absolutely. I never thought that we would see something like that in this country. So I'm absolutely surprised. Do I think that those things need to be relooked? Absolutely. We need to really have a good, hard think about how we deal with social media, how we deal with messaging, what we tolerate, whether it's in the name of free speech or otherwise. We really need to have a strong think about it, because this is just unacceptable on any level.
And for more on what this means for Australia, we're joined by DT India's correspondent Nazia Alvi Rahman. Well, Nazia, what has been the initial response of the government after the attack?
Well, the government moved quite quickly. The act was immediately declared an act of terror, which means the police is immediately given more powers to investigate. They can they can search premises without warrants. They can question people without a court order. They can, especially people in the designated areas. So it basically makes the work of the police much faster. They don't have to run back to court for every little thing. So that was one of the first things which was done immediately within an hour or two of the attack. Then the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese convened a national security meeting last night itself, which was attended by ACO, which is the Australia's premium most intelligence agency. It was attended by their chief, Mike Burgess. It was attended by Home Minister Tony Burke. They announced extra funding for all places of where a Jewish community is found in larger numbers. All synagogues have been closed today. All schools of Jewish communities have also been closed today across Sydney. Another key thing that happened last night itself was the house of the two accused, the father and the son, was raided. It was pretty much raided the whole night. Police has not shared much details about what did they find at the premises or what all they have confiscated. They're not even sharing much details about the ideology of these two men. Why did they shoot last night? The whole act of terror that took place at the Bondi Beach. Besides that, Australia is officially mourning this devastating event, and all the flags across Australia will fly half-mast. There's a lot more that is expected to come today as the day unfolds.
All right. Also, going forward, what kind of steps are they taking to ensure incidents of this nature do not happen again?
Government has already announced that going forward, it will be more of a preventive, they'll take a lot of preventive measures. As I already mentioned, that security has been enhanced around all Jewish community places, synagogues, schools, and extra funding has been announced for Jewish community, particularly for the security of Jewish community. What is very important here to mention is that anti-Semitism has been on rise in Australia since October 7, 2023, since the Hamas and Israel conflict started. And early this year, a special envoy was asked to make guidelines on how we can contain it. And some very strict guidelines were made effective a couple of months ago, wherein any university where even a single case of anti-Semitism is reported or it feels like that the university is not able to contain it, the funding would be reduced or withheld. That was one. And second, even the visas of a lot of, at least 4 to 5 cases of cancellation of visas of people who had anti-Semitic views or even any kind of very extreme right-wing views were cancelled in the last 4 months by the Home Ministry. They have also announced measures like very, very close scrutiny of media reporting so that this doesn't fuel further. Another thing which is important here to mention is that gun laws are very strict in Australia, but these two gunmen, these two shooters last night had 6 licensed arms, which is something very alarming for the government. So they have already announced that they're going to relook into the gun laws of the country.
All right. Thank you so much, Nazir, for all those details. And moving on, a man was taken into custody from Rhode Island Hotel in the Brown University shooting that left 2 students dead and 9 wounded amid year-end final exams at the Ivy League school. Now, Providence Police Chief Perez said the person detained in connection with Saturday's gun violence was in his 20s but declined to share further details. Detectives anticipated that the person in custody would be formally charged on Sunday night. FBI Director Kash Patel said in a post on X that the person of interest had been detained in a hotel room in the Rhode Island town of Coventry, a 30-minute drive from the Brown campus. An FBI team specializing in cellular data analysis used geolocation information to track the suspect. Now, the mass shooting, the latest of nearly 400 in the U.S. this year, shook the community at the university, one of the oldest in the United States. The school cancelled exams and classes for the rest of the year, and the campus was quiet on Sunday as a light snowfall blanketed the city. Flowers and candles were laid on the Brown University campus in Providence, Rhode Island, outside the building where a shooting left 2 people dead and 9 others injured as the Ivy League university reels from the attack. And moving on to updates from Russia-Ukraine conflict now, where President Volodymyr Zelensky has offered to drop Ukraine's aspirations to join the NATO military alliance. It came ahead of his 5 hours of talks with U.S. envoys in Berlin to end the conflict with Russia, with negotiations set to continue on Monday. Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff said a lot of progress was made as he and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner met Zelensky in the latest push to end Europe's bloodiest conflict since World War II, though full details were not divulged. Also, the move marks a major shift for Ukraine, which has fought to join NATO as a safeguard against Russian attacks and has such an aspiration included in its constitution. It also meets one of Russia's aims, although Kyiv has so far held firm against ceding territory to Moscow. The talks were hosted by German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. Britain, France and Germany have been working to refine the U.S. proposals, which in a draft disclosed last month called for Kyiv to cede more territory, abandon its NATO ambitions and accept limits on its armed forces. And Syria has arrested 5 people suspected of having links to the shooting of U.S. and Syrian troops in the central Syrian town of Palmyra on Saturday. The Interior Ministry said on Sunday 2 U.S. soldiers and a civilian interpreter were killed when an assailant attacked a joint convoy before being shot dead. Authorities identified the attacker as a Syrian security force member suspected of sympathizing with Islamic State. The arrest followed a joint operation with international coalition forces. Syria reaffirmed cooperation with the U.S.-led coalition against ISIS, with officials stressing a shared commitment to combat the group. The U.S. maintains troops in Syria as part of its long-running anti-ISIS mission. And the U.S. president vowed that those responsible for the Syrian attack would face consequences.
I just want to pay my respects to the families. We also had 3 injured, but 2 of them are already out of the hospital and one's going to be okay. But we lost 3, so it was a rough day. I can tell you in Syria, there will be a lot of damage done to the people that did it. They got the individual person, but there'll be big damage done.
Well, Jose Antonio Cast won Chile's presidential election on Sunday, leveraging voter fears over rising crime and migration to steer the country. Cast secured a commanding 58% of the vote in a runoff with leftist candidate Jonat Izara, who won 42% and swiftly conceded. Throughout his decade-long political career, Cast has been a consistent right-wing hardliner. He's proposed building border walls, deploying the military to high-crime areas, and deporting all migrants in the country illegally. His victory marks the latest win for the resurgent right in Latin America. The campaign was Cast's 3rd run at the presidency and 2nd runoff after losing to leftist President Gabriel Boric in 2021. Chile's outgoing President Gabriel Boric congratulated right-wing candidate Jose Antonio Cast after he won the presidential election, one seen by many Chileans as too extreme. He's attracted voters who've become increasingly concerned by crime and immigration. and around 12 people died and 20 were injured after a bus carrying school children fell off a cliff in rural area in northern Colombia on Sunday. The bus was traveling from a beach town to city of Medellin after a school trip celebrating the students' graduation. And Hong Kong pro-democracy media mogul Jimmy Lai was found guilty on Monday on 2 charges of foreign collusion and 1 charge of seditious publication. Well, High Court judge stated that Lai was unwavering in his efforts to destabilize the Chinese Communist Party, ultimately prioritizing this over the interest of the people of China and Hong Kong. The 78-year-old, who suffers from health issues including diabetes and high blood pressure, had pleaded not guilty to the charges. Lai, who has already spent 5 years in jail pending the outcome of his case, will be sentenced at a later date. The case has drawn international scrutiny of Hong Kong's judicial independence amid a years-long crackdown on rights and freedom in the global financial hub. Meanwhile, people camped overnight outside the courthouse in a line over the block long to get one of the 507 tickets, 58 for Lai's courtroom and the rest for video viewing. The verdict marks a key moment for Lai, who spoke against Beijing's crackdown after Hong Kong's 2019 protest and continued warning about authoritarianism. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Delhi marks final stop for Messi's GOAT India Tour 2025 with celebration of young football talent.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and on to some sports news now. India created history as they defeated Hong Kong, China in the final to win the Squash World Cup in Chennai. The win marked India's maiden Squash World Cup, improving on their previous best finish of a bronze medal at the 2023 edition. The Indian team did not lose a single match en route to the summit clash. In the final, Joshna Chinnappa gave India the perfect start as she stunned Lee Ka-yi in the opening women's single match. Abhay Singh followed up perfectly as he outplayed Alex Law to give India a 2-0 lead. Then 17-year-old Anahat Singh clinched the third rubber to bag the title. The victory also made India only the fourth nation after Australia, England and Egypt to win the Squash World Cup crown. And Arun Jaitley Stadium in New Delhi is set to host global football icon Lionel Messi on Monday, marking the final leg of his GOAT India Tour 2025 and bringing the countrywide celebrations to a close. The program at the stadium will see Messi felicitating Minerva Academy's teams who won 3 major youth titles, highlighting India's emerging football talent. A celebrity football match will also be organized as part of the event. Delhi and District Cricket Association Secretary Ashok Sharma said that Messi's visit would be a major source of inspiration for the young footballers, adding that such moments play a crucial role in nurturing future talent in the sport.
मेसी का आना ही इंडिया के अंदर फुटबॉल को प्रमोट करने के लिए जितनी भी बच्चों को वो यहाँ टिप्स देंगे, जो भी उनकी प्लानिंग है आने वाले टाइम में, बच्चों को सिखाएंगे, बच्चों के साथ बात करेंगे, तो वो मोटिवेशन बहुत बड़ा है। मेसी मतलब आप खुद मैं बचपन से फुटबॉल के मैच देखता आया हूँ, यहाँ डूरंड और DCM होता था, उस स्केल की फुटबॉल और जो खुद वो खेलते हैं मेसी, उस तरीके की फुटबॉल में ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क है। उनके पैर से निकला हुआ गोल, उनके पैर से निकली हुई फुटबॉल, यहाँ बच्चे खुद अपने सामने देखेंगे, उनके साथ खड़े होंगे, तो मोटिवेशन, तो इससे बड़ा मोटिवेशन और कोई हो नहीं सकता बच्चों के लिए।
Well, Indian city of Mumbai turned into a global football arena as legendary footballer Lionel Messi arrived for the second leg of the GOAT tour at the iconic Wankhede Stadium. Thousands of fans, many wearing Argentina jerseys, gathered to catch a glimpse of the man widely recognized and regarded as one of the greatest footballers of all time. Here is a detailed report of the event.
The atmosphere was electric as the celebrations began with high-energy artist performances, transforming the cricket stadium into a grand football fiesta. The excitement continued with a celebrity football match, bringing together prominent personalities from sports and entertainment, much to the delight of cheering spectators. Lionel Messi held a brief interaction with the teams. He also interacted with young football players in the field. For many in the crowd, it was once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to witness their hero in person. The crowd got a chance to catch Messi's kicked football. It reflected his extraordinary journey and the deep emotional connect he shares with fans. Chief Minister of Maharashtra Devendra Fadnavis, cricket legend Sachin Tendulkar, Indian soccer stars Sunil Chhetri among others were present at the event. Messi and Sachin Tendulkar exchanged Tendulkar's jersey number 10 and Messi's football. The Mumbai leg of the tour was more than just an event. It was a celebration of passion, perseverance and sporting excellence. Indian fans finally got the chance to celebrate their football icon on home soil, making the evening at Wankhede Stadium a truly unforgettable chapter in India's football fandom. Sharma Mishra's report from Mumbai for DD India.
And for more on this, we have Narayan Singh joining us. Well, Narayan, the global football icon Lionel Messi will be in Delhi today, marking the final leg of his GOAT India Tour 2025. Tell us what all is planned.
Vipakshi, Messi arriving in Delhi, we can say that's big motivation, not only for the footballers, but the whole sports fraternity in India, because we know that it's a global icon and the sports or any sports flourishes on the performance and we can say that the presence of the global icons. And definitely many events are lined up, especially a football clinic is there with the young footballers, 30 young footballers, especially from the Minerva Academy. The performance of that academy is exceptional. Definitely that few words with Messi definitely boost the morale, boost the, we can say that the confidence of these young players. Also, there will be a celebrity match in Delhi, but it is not confirmed who will be there in that celebrity match. It remains to be seen. And also, we can say that there will be a function, a music function is also planned. So let's see how the venue does all the stuffs with the Messi's event here in Delhi. So all in all, we can say that the presence of Messi definitely is going to be a huge boost for our young athletes. We know that the aura of the Messi, what kind of player he is. And when the icons like Messi visits any place, definitely the awareness of that game increases. They will, the athletes, the young footballers will read more about Messi. They will come to know what was the problems he faced, what was the adversity Messi faced. If you take a look at his journey, we can say that it's a real rags to riches story. Because when he was in Argentina, the small town of Rosario, he was a wonderful kid, and at his boyhood club, the new old boys, he performed exceptionally well. But at the age of 10, there is a deficiency was seen in Messi, the lack of the growth hormones, and at that point in time, his boyhood club also was not able to just pay the bills for that growth hormone treatment. So at the age of 13, he moved to Barcelona, the La Masia, the most famed football academy in the world. So where Barcelona signed him for the academy, the La Masia, and after that we saw that how his journey unfolded. One of the best footballer of the generation, Lionel Messi. And apart from that, we know
global football icon, and Delhi is looking forward for welcoming him. Thank you so much, Narayan, for all those details. And today, the nation observes the 75th death anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, fondly remembered as the Iron Man of India for his unmatched role in unifying the country. Sardar Patel, revered for uniting a fragmented, newly independent India into one strong nation despite immense challenges. He devoted his life as the country's first Home Minister to safeguarding Mother India, ensuring stability and establishing peace. By strengthening the cooperative movement and laying the foundations of self-reliance, empowering women and farmers alike, he continues to remind the nation of the principle of nation first. Well, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.